Hello everyone. Today we are meeting again with a new agenda, and that is state management using React. And for that purpose, we are using Redux over here. So the better title of the sessions will be state management by using Redux in React. So let's go for the demonstration of it. Rishabh will take care to elaborate the entire concepts of how we can use Redux for the state management. Over to you, Rishabh.
So thank you. So hello everyone. So today we're gonna see how we can do state management using Redux. So you may say that there is already we discussed about in previous session like context API. We can do state management using context API, and we can also do by props drilling. But in with Redux, it's in big organization there is much more need for the developer who knows Redux using React. So we will see what is Redux and why is Redux. So I'm sharing my screen. Uh, so is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, okay. So we will see how we can do state management. First, we will see why is Redux. So why is Redux? Because in a normal way, how we can deal with data, we just store all the data in the app component and then we pass to the component. Like all the data is stored in the parents component, then we pass all the data to the children component, like component to component. But how in React context API, what how we can do like without context API, what is the there is a prop limiter like data is passing to the app component to the child component, but with the context API we create a provider, we can create a centralized component and we store all the information and data to it, and then we wrap all that provider around the children's component, and then if we want to consume the data from any component, we make a request to the provider. So that manner we use the context API. But in Redux, what we do, it's a similar concept, but in a different way. What we do, we just create a centralized store, and then we can take data to any component, and we can also change the data in this present, which is present in the store. So what is Redux? Redux is a pattern and a library for managing and updating application state using event called action. So there is an event called action. So it serves a centralized store for store that state that needs to be used across the entire application with rule ensuring that the state can be only updated in a predictable fashion. So we will see what this definition actually means. So there are four main concepts in a Redux. So one is action, second is reducer, third is store, and fourth is action associated with the store. So action, what is action? Action, we define what to do, and reducer, we define how to do, and in store, we in store the object will hold the state of the application. We store all the objects and the state of the application in the store, and the functions are there which are associated with the store, like we can create a store, dispatch the action, and get the state. So action, what is action? Action is a pure function which returns a object. So action are plain JavaScript object that have a type field, and action only tell what to do, but they don't tell how to do. So we define action in this manner. We return the object like type equals to increment, and we payload equals to num. So this is the example what how we define the action. So it's a pure function which returns the object. What is reducer? Reducer are the function that takes the current state and the action as an argument, which we define in the action. So it's the take the state and the action as an argument and return the new state in the result. So in this manner, we can define the reducer like this, like const equal to chain number, and the function reducer take a two argument. The first is state and second is action. So we define the state and the second argument is action here. And then we create a switch state, and based on the action we call or dispatch, it will do something. So if their action is an increment, it will return the state with the payload. Or if their action is a decrement, it will return the state with -1. And it will also return the default state. What is store? Store, the Redux store brings together the state and the action and the reducer, and that makes up your app. So it combine our action and reducer and the state we given in the reducer, and it brings together and makes our app. It's important to note that only uh, you will only have a single store in a Redux. You can create only one single store in the Redux, and every Redux store has a single root reducer function. So there are a Redux principle. The first is single source of truth. As we have seen in the previous slide, there is only one single store. The global state of your application is a store as an object inside a single store. Second, the state is read only. The only way to change the state is to dispatch action. So we can only change the state with the action we define. Third, immutability, one-way data flow, and predictability of outcome. Fourth, changes are made with a pure reducer function. So in this cycle, I will try to define what is actually happening behind the scene. So there is a UI, and there will be some function like button click or like it, after clicking the button, it will trigger the action. So after triggering the action will send to the reducer. So in action, we told what to do. Reducer, it will send to the reducer. Uh, it will tell how to do, and reducer will go to the store, and store contains the state, and state again defines the UI. So this is the cycle of the React reduce function. So in this cycle, it will make more clear if I show you the example which I've created. So we'll go to my React project. So as you can see here, I've created this project with npx create dash react dash app and given the name of the project like test Redux. And I installed the package of Redux like npm install Redux and also the React Redux package. So it will help me to connect the React to the Redux. After that, instead of defining action and the reducer in one single file, what I've done, I've created the action folder and also the reducer folder. First step I have done is to create a reducer, and inside reducer I've created this file counter.jsx. Inside that counter code JSX, I created a function counter, and I have given the two parameters which I've told in the presentation. It will take two parameters. First is the state, and second is the action. And based on the action, it will perform something. So this is just a small concept to get a clear idea of Redux. So after, if there is an action called name add, and it will, so if there is an action called name add, it will return state +1. It will increment the counter by +1. If there is a action with a minus, so it will reduce the state with -1. And I'm also exporting this default as a counter. So I've created this one more file is log. If there is a user logged in, so it will return true, or it will initial value will be the false. You can see here const is log equals to first parameter state, which is false, initial value is false, and the action here. So if there is if user signed in, it will call this action signed in, and it will return true. So initial value will be changed to true. So in similar manner, I've created one more shop reducer. Here I've given the shop. This is the initial value. In shop, the state equals to shop and the action, and it will just simply return the state of this shop reducer. So after creating the reducer, I've gone to the index page. So I want all these three reducer to be one, so to be combined and represent as a one in a store. So what I've done, I've import all these three files here, and I've import the combined reducer from the Redux. So this is the function where we can combine all the reducer as a one. So I've created one variable all reducer equals to combined reducer, and I've given and created the object and call this counter is log and shop and export this as a all reducer. It's very simple. I just created a various reducer and I have combined in index.js. And after creating this index.js, after combining this all the reducer, I've gone to the index.js of my project page. So inside this, what I've done, I've imported the create store from Redux. And also I imported the all reducer which I've combined there. So after combining, what I'm doing, I'm giving it a variable store and equals to create store, and I'm putting all the reducer as a one. So you can see I'm putting all the reducer as a one. So this in this manner I'm creating store, and this link is about the extension which we will get by the Redux. So you can also install this extension by going to this page. You can see. So from here, you can install the extension Redux Dev Tool. So after installing this extension, you will just simply have to copy this line, this green line, copy this line and paste after the store. So it will connect our React app with our extension, and it will show us the valuable information about the states and all. So in that manner, we create a store. So first we create a reducer, then we create a store, and then, in previous session, we seen the concept of provider in context API. So here also, so the same concept provider. So I've imported this provider from React Redux, package from React Redux, and I wrap this provider around the app. You can see, and it's take to one value attribute store and equals to store. I'm putting that store in this here. So in this manner, I can access the value or the information of the reducer which is present here. So only there is one thing to left to do. So I created the action folder. Inside action folder, I created the index.js, and as I told, action is just a function which returns the object. So you can see I've created this add function which returning me the object with the type add, and minus function which returning the object with type minus, and the login function which returning the type with signed in. So based on this action, it will go to the reducer and tell how to do. So action is what to do, reducer is how to do. So after creating this action, I will go to the app.js component, which is default component. How I can input the state which is present in my Redux. So you can see how I can import the state which is present in the Redux. So I've imported the action as I've defined in the action file. This is the add function. This is the minus function. This is the login function from the action file, index.js file. So, and second, what I've done, I've used selector and use dispatch method. I imported it from the React Redux, and I've created a variable counter. I call this use selector, and it will take a state, and I just want the state which related to the counter. So I will save this information in the counter variable, and similarly for log here. So I will state dot is log is will store the information in log variable, and for dispatch the action. To dispatch the action, we want to change the state which is already present in the reducer. So we use the dispatch as I've told in the presentation. So I've created the variable dispatch, and I'm using the dispatch function. After that, I want a counter which is default state. As you know, in the counter variable, the default state is 0 here. So default state is 0. So I want the default state to variable in my browser. So here I'm calling this counter in the h1 tag with a curly braces counter, and I've created two buttons to dispatch the action. As you know, I've created the action with the name add and also the minus. So I'm creating this callback function which will dispatch my add function, and for minus, this will dispatch my minus function. So we will go to the browser. So you can see counter equals to 0, and this is the extension in this side. And you can see I have a state here. So counter equals default state is 0, is log default state is false. So this extension give us the information about the Redux we are using in our project. So after clicking this add button, it will add my counter. As you can see, it also adding here and also here. Minus, it will decrement the value, and add, it will increment the volume. So in this manner, we can increment and decrement we can change the state which is present in our store. So after that, for login, so as you know, the logged state is false. The initial value is false. But after clicking login function, it will dispatch the action logging. So in my action, I will show you. So this is the login function. What is doing? It will just dispatch this type equal to sign in, and this object will go to the reducer. So reducer here, and it will go to the this reducer, and it will check is this case is signed in. Then it will just return the opposite of it. So initial state is false. After dispatching the action, so action will go to the reducer and it will change it by true. So if you go to the app.jx, so you can see I'm dispatching this login function. And if I go to the browser, and if I click to the login, it will change this. You can see here, the initial is false, it is changing to the true. So in similar manner, we can work with a different component, and we can change the state and get the state. So that's all the concept visualization I've created to understand what is Redux. So that's it from myself.
Hey guys, it was nice presentations from Rishabh, and I hope it will help you out to understand the concept of Redux in React and how we can manage the states using Redux. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.